Hello everyone, sorry, this is my second time recording this because the page crashed on me because I accidentally pressed refresh and it just went all the way back. I thought it would just go back to the question, but it didn't. So I've already done some of the questions, but I'm going to say the exact same thing as I said last time. So, I might split this up into like parts that are easily digestible, or I might do it along. You know what, I'm going to make like 10-15 minutes videos on this. Well, I'm gonna have clips of 10-15 minutes and I'm gonna spread them out. And then if anybody wants to, I'll put all the clips together row by row. Or I'll just make a playlist so you can just go through them one by one. Also, my setup's different. I explained this in the previous recording, but you're not gonna say that. Sorry. I put my Logitech webcam on my Logitech speaker. I have a lot of Logitech because I am basic bitch. But anyways, this is going to be the 9-axis quiz. There's 116 questions, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 116 questions. And the first one this time is war usually leads to worse outcomes, and that's strongly disagree. I'm just saying, if it wasn't for war, we would have basically the internet, computers, we would have Nazi Germany in charge, we would have a lot of shit. We wouldn't, if we didn't have the Cold War, we probably would not be in space by now. So, strongly disagree. Diplomatic options should always be tried before war is even considered. Well, yes. You always should go for the route that causes the least amount of bloodshed, if possible. But you shouldn't just always go for the diplomatic options to prevent bloodshed because you're scared of what might happen. Sometimes you have to consider war. It's just a fact. So I'm just gonna read the question again, and there's five answers. Strongly agree, neutral / unsure, disagree, strongly disagree. Diplomatic options should always be considered. Should be always. Wait, sorry. Dyslexia. Diplomatic options should always be tried before war is even considered. Strongly agree. All societies are blends of culture. Yeah, I agree. Not strongly, but just agree. Yeah. There is no need for local or state governments. Strongly disagree. If you didn't have local or state governments and you only had the if you only had like the feds, they would fucking not do anything for you. You need local and state governments. I strongly disagree. The government has no business looking into most people's personal lives. I strongly agree. There's really no reason why the government spies on most people. There's obviously some reasons why they're looking into the personal business, because maybe they expect you of pedophilia, drug cartelling, human trafficking, yada yada. But I strongly agree the government has no business looking into most people's personal lives. Each person should have one vote, each vote equal to every other. That's when I first saw this test, I watched somebody's through it, and how they explained it is like, yes, I agree with that, but does a bum who does nothing, who just takes fucking shit from the government, like just aid and stuff, have the same have his vote count as a rocket scientist or a brain surgeon who contributes loads to the economy? Should his vote be equal to his? And I would say, yeah, it has to be, but it's a bit of it can go both ways. You can understand why. Each person should have one vote, but if you say it should be equal to everyone else's, you can argue about that, but everyone should have at least one vote. I agree, and it should be at least equal. That's how you keep, fairness. So I agree, not strongly agree. A better world will come through automation, science, and technology. Strongly agree. That's a fact. If we didn't have automation, science, and technology, how the hell do you think you'd be seeing this? I'm just saying, maybe I would be like carving on wood and making hand puppets, and we have like actors acting out what I'm saying. So strongly agree. Democracy is more than a decision-making process. Yeah, yeah, I strongly agree. There's much more that goes into a democracy than just a decision-making process. Immigrants should be expected to learn the language of the country. I've seen this question before in the last clip, and I say strongly agree. If you don't go to a country that is at least bilingual with it's like their main language and then your language, then I can understand you might not have to learn the language of the country. But if you're going to a country that doesn't speak your language, you need to learn the language. It's only customary. You're gonna live there, you're gonna live in their culture, and you're not even gonna be able to talk their language and talk to the people. Like, think about it. Why would they want you? Why would anybody want a person who doesn't even speak the language? It's not if you're a bad person, if you just don't know, or you're at least trying. But if you're like strongly against, oh yeah, you should. I don't have to learn. I do not have to learn your language. Uh, I'm from a different country. That is racist. No, you have to learn. I say strongly agree. Is it important to maintain our national sovereignty? I strongly agree. Yeah, okay. Just so everyone's clear about what it means, national sovereignty means. National sovereignty, it is the supreme, absolute, and uncontrollable power of which an independent state is governed and from which all specific political power are derived. The international independence of a state combined with the rights and powers of regulating its internal affairs without foreign intervention. It is extremely important to maintain national sovereignty. I cannot stress this enough. I strongly agree. Some freedom must be given up in order to keep people safe. Yeah. Because understand this, you can either live in a world which is perfectly safe but not free, or a world which is perfectly safe but not free, but a world that is extremely free but not safe. So I agree. You don't have to give up almost like a fucking like 75% of your freedom, maybe like 10-20%, but you need to free up some freedom to keep people safe. That's just a fact. That's why we made the state. We give up some of our freedom to be protected. So I strongly agree. Well, not strongly, I agree. Technological process is usually good. Yes, I strongly agree. It's usually good. That's not saying it can be bad. There isn't bad, but it's saying like it's like 8 times out of 10, it's probably going to benefit us. Strongly agree. The government should have access to the emails of suspected terrorists. I agree. But that's a slippery slope if the government deems you as a suspected terrorist. But if they don't find anything, they're not going to care. But it's a slippery slope. I understand this, but I'm going to say it again. Local governments each give region goods representations of their views. Local governments give each region good representation of their views. Sorry, I just have to say that again. And I say yes. You need local governments. You need local governments to have good representation. How the hell do you think the United States works? You need that to happen. You can't just have just the centers of population just without representation from the local government. You can't just have the federal government doing everything because that would just be disastrous. So I strongly agree. Okay, so that's it for this clip, and I'll be back shortly. Thank you guys, and I'll see you soon.